Welcome to the Arc Point, brought to you by the Architect's Desk. This episode is not about control in any sinister way, nor blaming architects or psychology jargons, but rather it's about awareness, influence, and responsibility. Architecture doesn't force behavior, it nurtures it. In the last episode, we explored how design decisions shape human experiences, why some spaces feel comfortable and others feel frustrating. Today, we take the next step. When experiences repeat, they become habits. And when habits form, behavior changes. This is where architecture begins to influence how we act, gently, quietly, consistently, and often without us noticing. How space influences behavior. Humans respond instinctively to space. You don't need instructions to know how to behave in a space. You lower your voice in a cathedral. You linger in a park. You rush through a narrow space or a narrow corridor. The space tells you what to do. Example: cathedral versus market. Open plaza versus cramped hallway. Space communicates before language. Real life example: circular seating equals discussion. Linear seating reflects authority. The arrangement of space influences participation. That's not coincidence, that's design. Architecture and social interaction. Public versus private behavior. People gather where they feel welcome. Active spaces encourages interactions, but dead spaces discourages it. Markets and community spaces. Traditional African spaces understood social human instinctively. They created spaces to meet, talk, trade, and belong. Design, safety, and movement. Lighting and visibility. People avoid spaces where they feel unseen. Good lighting doesn't just illuminate, it reassures. Movement and flow. Congestion creates stress. Flow creates calm. These are behavior responses to design. The ethical line. This is where responsibility enters gently. If architecture can influence behavior, then architects carry responsibilities. Ethical examples: hostile architecture or inclusive design. Design can welcome or quietly reject. Ethical architecture asks, who benefits? Who is excluded? Why awareness matters. When people understand how space affects behavior, they stop blaming themselves. They start asking a better question. And architects start designing more responsively. Today, we learned that architecture doesn't just shape experience, it influences behavior, subtly, consistently, and powerfully. The most influential spaces are often the ones we barely notice. In the next episode, we turn the lens forward. What kind of architects do our cities need today? And how should design respond to climate, culture, and future generations? You have been watching The Arc Point, brought to you by the Architect's Desk. Stay inspired, stay learning, stay building. Arc Point, your window into the built environment.